Good morning, my crafty peeps. Coming to you from Quilt World in Northeast Iowa. And my table is full all around me, so I've been collecting stuff for doing one of these, and I thought I better get to it. It's a little, I can't even hardly work around here because I got to move so much stuff. So, and of course, as soon as I start talking, my voice gets funny, and I didn't bring a water, so here's hoping it straightens up. Otherwise, I'm going to have to start over. Anyway, I hope this day finds you well, and I've got several final finishes to show you today. I got a little bit of estate haul, and yeah, we're just going to kind of go through things, and however long it's going to be is what it's going to be. I've kind of got a busy day today, so we're just going to try and get through all these things. So anyway, I guess I'll just start with what I've got here on top. This was, I showed this last time. I got this at the attic, and I got a Christmas chart too. And then here's my thrift store clock and my finish, and it turned out pretty cute. My original plan was to try and pop, this out and put the Christmas one in, which I still could do, but you do have to take the whole back. You kind of got to take the guts of the whole clock apart to do that. So I may try and find another clock, possibly. I ended up doing this on 28 count Lugana over 1. So it's little. I didn't realize that when I bought it. I thought when I looked at it, it was over 2. It had to be little to fit in there. So anyway, but I thought it turned out super cute. I've got it upstairs. Now where to put the stuff that I've shown you. And then I'll keep kicking my tripod because it's in the way. Oh, and I've got this out to show you. I have one of those, well, I have 2 of them because I ended up with one of my parents. They have a Roomba. So we have a Roomba downstairs, and then we have another one upstairs. The kids bought us one, and so that's how we ended up with 2. So anyway, which works out fine. So I run it, occasionally. I should run it more than what I do. And I'm not paying any, I'm letting it do its thing. There's a few things I kind of move because they're problematic. If you have one, And anyway, I was going back to the laundry, and all of a sudden I heard this, something fall and blah, blah, blah. And here on the back of I've got a sewing machine over here to the side. I had this sitting there, and I had this on it, and, thread up here. Well, I don't know. There must have been like a piece of this thread on the floor, I guess. And this thing, that Roomba, of course, if you pull on this, it just unwinds. Oh, my living Lord. That was crazy. So this is one of those more expensive ones. It's got a heavier base to it. So it finally took it off. That's the only reason I knew that this was happening, and it's a good thing. It took me over 5 minutes to cut off. I should have taken a picture. It was a hot mess. Thread, you get the picture. I have no idea how that happened. None whatsoever. Obviously, there was a string hanging down to the floor. Don't do that. Don't do that is the deal. I couldn't believe it. So, you know, instead of cleaning the floor, it's sucking up my thread and I'm chopping it up and throwing it away. So, yeah, that was yeah, it's just a constant fun life, a bowl of fun around here. Okay, and I showed you this before. I had it, this is a freebie chart. Whoops, shouldn't show the chart. This is a freebie chart, Silver Creek sampler. You can get it. I'll put it up here, Silver Creek Samplers. So you can go to their website and download this. And I had it finished. Well, this is the final on it. So I had some vintage rayon seam binding that was just the right color. That's why I love getting vintage trims, because the colors are sometimes just what you need. And I did dye it with a little, I don't know if I used walnut stain or if I used, oh shoot, what's the name of the other one? Old paper, that's not it. Tim Holtz ink. I used one of those inks and put it on my glass mats and added a little water and then squished this around. I don't know that you can really tell that on the edges a little bit, I think. But anyway, so that turned out super cute. And then this is kind of my new way of finishing stuff. If I cut out a little shape on a die, and then I took it over here to my sewing machine and I put the year on it. And I love that. So I didn't have enough room to add my initials to it. I should just add that to the back of it too. But my patch wasn't big enough to do it on my machine. So anyway, that's all done. And actually, this would be, I won't do it now, but this would have been a cute thing to add some beads to. You could have gone around in there and those single ones and added some beads on that, and that would even made it that much better. And then this, I believe I had done last time, but not framed. The Mr. Look at that frame. I love the frame. I'm getting I've gone through a bunch of my frames. So I'm going to have to be kind of on the lookout for some vintage frames. You need to go see my friend Shelly and see what she's got up there. But this turned out so cute. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put it up now. I kind of think I'm going to leave it and not put it up until Christmas. This is Merry Christmas from Blackbird. And that was, I started that on Christmas Day, this last Christmas, and then finished it in February. So not too bad. And then this I started on our trip. And that turned out nice. This is Cupid Sampler by With Thy Needle and Thread, Sandy Gervais. And I used Gentle Art Hollyberry for my color. I did not use the called for. And this is on 18 count something. I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure it's 18 count. Or it might be 20. Now that I look at it, it might be 20. So that turned out well. And here's the pattern for that. Cupid sampler. So those are done. And then I finished these Valentine things too. This is from Love Notes, and this is with I Needle and Thread too. And I did the X and the O one. I haven't decided. I might do some kind of a little cording. In the camera, that looks crooked, but it really isn't. I'm not sure. I think it's, I don't know why. I think it's that the way I put the stripe on the diagonal intentionally. I haven't decided. I may tuck something in there yet. We'll see. And then here's the Be Mine. And it turned out super cute. And I did add some cording on that. Turned out really nice, really fun. So I didn't end up making pillows out of them. In my head, I kind of thought maybe I would, but I didn't end up doing that. So when it got down to it, okay. Now let's see, what else do I have here? Where do I want to go next? Oh, this, I think. I did, and I think I showed the top last time too. This is all fully done. Let's see here. I maybe could show half of it. You can't see all of it anyway. I got it all stitched. There you can see the quilting on it. Turned out really nice. Really cute. And then I did write a nice label on the back because Mother made most of these blocks, so I kind of included that. I forget how many blocks I ended up making, maybe 4 or 5, I don't know, something like that. But she had made most of them. And then I ended up putting it together and, of course, finishing it. So it's got her hand in it too, and I don't know how many. I think I've got 1 or 2 more projects kind of like that Mother had started, and was far enough along that I could tell what she was doing, you know, and I had the pattern. This is from, it's called String of Hearts from McCall's Quick Quilts. So that's October, November 2014. So if you have got those magazines, that's what it is. October, November 2014, McCall's Quick Quilts. Okay. So that's what it's from. I didn't quite make it as big as what they said. I just kind of went with the quilts that I had and then enough to make it so it looked, you know, the pattern was right. Because one row is 4 and the next row is 5. So I wanted to, you know, make sure I ended on a 5 row. So anyway, that is done and ready to put away. Okay, I'm down to, let's see here. Well, maybe I'll do these first since they're kind of on top. I did go to Joann's. We have a local one. I don't know, their stuff is really kind of picked over, and then I didn't really feel like the fabric was cheap enough when I was there for it. So, and then we went to Cedar Rapids last week because to the Joann's down there, and that's a much bigger store. I was looking for Tim Holtz stuff. My Waterloo one didn't hardly have anything of his. And they had quite a bit down there. So I ended up, it wasn't discounted as much as I would have liked, but it's either that or I mail order it, frankly. So I got, you know, quite a few things of his. And then the only fabric I got was, and this was kind of up to the front. And I didn't look that hard because I really don't need fabric. But I have carrots up in with my spring stuff. I have a lot of carrots. And so this kind of hit me. And of course you had to buy 2 yards, which I probably wouldn't have done. But anyway, I just thought this was so cute. And then here, this was right by it. And I took all they had of this. It was about 2.5 yards. But isn't this cute? I have no idea what I'll do with it. But super cute. So that's the fabric I got. And I got some other odds and ends. I got a set of brushes that I can't seem to find since we've moved. And, oh, what else? Tim Holtz stuff, I said. I don't know. I got a couple flosses. There was hardly any floss left. But I did get a couple of those. Oh, and my one, I guess I didn't bring it down. Well, we'll just do it another time, next time. Before I go on to the estate stuff, this stuff is sitting here. I ordered a couple things from Market, from Nashville, pre-ordered. The one thing I'm working on upstairs, and I've already started it. And then I got these, and I want to get, I know there's a Christmas one out, and then a fall one. And I haven't gotten those yet. It's a series, and I want to do all of them. This is the spring one. It's called The Earth Laughs, and it's by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And I just like the shape of it, and I like all the motifs in it. So I ordered that on pre-order, and then I went ahead and got the Liberty one too. These are ones I kind of, at least the spring one, I hope to kind of get going. And maybe I'm going to blow by the spring one and go right to this patriotic one. I absolutely love this. I like the flags coming out of the house. I like the eagle. Like the size of it, like the frame, the whole situation. And I'll probably want to pick a frame. This will be a deal where I want to have the same count of fabric, and I want to have one frame so I can take them in and out. That's my plan. And like I say, there was one that was out at Christmas, probably came out last fall sometime, and then a fall one too. So I'm going to pick those up at some point. Probably next time I go to Waverly to the shop. And then I saw this little cute pattern. And frankly, I don't think the picture does it justice. And I kind of hope to maybe work on that with you today. But I'm just, we've got enough other things going on that I just haven't gotten to it. And I'm trying to think where I got this from. I think Eleanor Burns. I think they had this, they showed this, and they're little Easter sewn bags, and they look like bunnies, and they're a drawstring, and I just thought, oh, so cute. So cute. And this pattern was not very expensive at all. And I think they even had free shipping on it too. So I'm hoping to maybe make, I don't know, a couple of these, but don't hold me to it. I don't know. It depends what happens between now and then. So, okay, now let's see here. I'm down to the estate stuff, which I needed that like I needed a hole in the head, but I'm sorry. That's the trouble. The way I've got this set up, my tripod leg is right here. I got a email through my quilt guild that they were cleaning out somebody's house. This lady's moved to assisted living, and so they were cleaning out her sewing room and had fabric and stuff. And so it's probably been, it's probably been 2 weekends ago. And it was really close to my house. It was in a town called Washburn, which is just a few miles down the road. And so I thought, well, we'll go check it out. And anyway, they did like a plastic grocery bag for $25. So that's what all this fabric I got for $25. And then really the bulk of what I spent was, and I didn't keep them all out. I'm just showing you kind of a sample of what I got. The gal had a long arm, not quite as, same brand, a little bit smaller head. But that'd be a nice long arm for somebody. But you'd have to have, the table space. It's a 12-foot table. And anyway, they had all these bobbins sitting there in these little jars, and they're the right size. I use an L, where a lot of the bigger machines use an M size bobbin, which is bigger. And I use these bobbins pretty much exclusively. My machine likes them, and it's just, yeah, I don't have to pre-wind bobbins. And so anyway, they had a whole stack of them. So I picked all of them up. There was only one, most of them were all neutrals, except for one there was a couple containers of light purple, but I took them all. And I thought, well, I'll just see how much they want for them. And full retail is around $15 for one of these jars. So they're not cheap. And there's 20 of them. Yeah, 20 in a thing. So anyway, they were talking it over, trying to decide how much to charge. And then, finally they said, why don't I offer them something? So I did, and they took it. And it was really a good deal. I tried not to at least give them something for it. But I knew their market is going to be limited for who's going to buy these also. So for the price of probably 3 of these, I got a whole bag full. So I won't need to buy, that'll last me in the neutrals for quite a while. And I do buy thread during the year because I go through, it kind of goes by spurts, it depends what people bring to me. It's occasionally I leave the same thread in after a customer quilt, then on to the next customer, and they choose the same thread, and of course that saves me time. And then you go through a whole bunch more bobbins. So I do buy bobbins every year. Actually, I just bought some for kind of a turquoise color, so kind of a odd color, but because I just did a graduation quilt, so for somebody. But anyway, so that was to the fabric. I didn't really need the fabric, but buying those bobbins was a good deal, obviously, for me. That was a nice find, which I didn't really expect. I didn't know what this lady would have, had no idea. I'll show you these big pieces. And granted, I got all of this that I'm going to show you in one bag. So this was crazy good. That's why I'm not really that thrilled with going to Joann's, and I don't know what they're down to now. I forget what that Easter fabric was. It wasn't discounted as much as you thought. I want to say 30%. Maybe it was 40. I don't know. No more than that. And they had a lot of fabric. You'd think if they were trying to get rid of it, they'd be moving it. But anyway, so here's 2 pieces at 3 1/4. So this will be a nice back. I've got it marked, and I'll put it away and keep it marked so I know exactly what's there, and if that's, you know, enough for me to do something with, you know, a piece. And then this is 102 wide by not quite 2 yards, 1 7/8. And so this is a nice, you know, a nice back too. And that'll work for something. And no seam, that's always a plus. And then I always look for neutrals. So here's the neutrals I came up with. And I've washed everything. Everything came in the house and went straight to my laundry area. And I washed everything and ironed it, folded it, the whole bit. So it's all ready to go. So I don't know how much are on these. I would say yard maybe on each of them. Something like that. And then some of these are smaller pieces, but I just bought them because they were fun. I just liked them. And I like tone on tones. I love that. To me, you're always looking for maybe a solid that isn't a solid. I'm not so in love with solid fabrics, but I love these kind here. And I'll show you. I got that she had a bunch of greens. Greens, I think, are always good. I kind of consider them a neutral. So all these greens, they're all tone on tones. All very nice. And they're various amounts, you know. I just picked them up because they kind of fit what I like to use. Love this. And I forget how much this might be. I don't know. It's over a yard, I'm pretty sure. But this just has a real vintage look to me. Threw that in. Now I can get all this stuff put away. And novelties, I always look for novelties. I don't know why. Just like them. It's got music and butterflies on it. And then here's one of Southwest. I have no idea what I'd do with this. But since we like to go to Arizona, this is like swirls and cowboys and desert and cactus and I don't know. Just liked it. And another cute little vintage or novelty. And, you know, if nothing else with some of these novelty ones, I'll cut them up and put them in my I Spy pile. I like to do, I've got thimble shapes and I've got, I think, some squares. So I can put together I Spy one. And then this one, I love this one. And I'm not sure who made it. It looks like some of these others that I tend to buy, but it doesn't really have a name on it, but it's got all these old buttons. So that was like a no-brainer. I'm getting that all day long. So that's what I ended up with, is that. And I think I'm going to sew here for just a minute. And I'm going to put together, let's see, how did I do that? Like that. So I want that like that. Okay. And then I've got some snaps I can stick in here. Oh, and then the other thing I was going to talk about is, I for you that have been with me, started with me on Facebook, I just got a deal from Facebook. Well, it's been several weeks ago now. And they are eliminating all my videos, I think in July. If they're over 30 days old, they won't keep them anymore. And I had a request. I really was going to let them go, but I had a request that they wanted to move to YouTube. So I'm in the process of downloading them to my laptop, and I got a good start on that the other night. So you may see, and I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to title those. You may see me start to release those onto YouTube, but they're going to be but I've got to watch them. I've got to watch them again, and label them, you know, so people can do a search and come up with what they want to find. And then, you know, if the content isn't that good or the quality is not that good, I may not do all of them, you know, to YouTube. We'll see. But so that is going to be happening here behind the scenes. And I've got, I forget how many left, 122 videos left to download. So I forget how many I did the other night. I did quite a few. But it does, you know, it takes, you know, it's technology is great when it works. And then when you got to redo stuff, then it's like, oh my goodness. So, what I think I'm going to do here, we've got just a few minutes, and if you want to stay around, I have noticed, you know, I've made several thread catchers, but you know, I've got this flannel fabric that looks like a sampler, and I noticed, you know, you do anything with the flannel, those threads just stick right on there. And I kind of like in my bag, for at home, I don't mind to use the tray. But in my bag where like I travel, I like this little flat thing. And so what I did is I've got a couple here all ready to sew. And this one's already done. Just, you know, right sides together. That's what I'm going to do here. Right sides together. And stitch around it, leave an opening, turn it, you know, clip the corners, turn it. And then I'm going to add a snap. I'm going to make the flannel be on the inside. I'm going to add a little snap there. And I thought, well, I'll do the snap thing. And then I've got a little needle case. I think I had just a little bit of this flannel fabric left. Isn't that cute? And that's an old fabric. I've had it a long time. So I thought I'd get out my little snap deal and we'd put in a couple snaps. How would that be? And I can show you that. So that would kind of clear my, oh my goodness. I don't know, it kind of gets a little crazy down here. You just try and keep ahead of, move some of this stuff out of the way here. And I need to turn my iron on, and then I'll move you guys. And we'll stitch a couple of these. But I don't think I'm going to bother with this today. I even did this in the car. We drove to, where did we drive to? Des Moines? Ames. And I stitched that, and I'm going to make a covered button out of it. But I don't think I'm going to bother with that today. So if you'd like to see how to do that, maybe I'll do that next time. Let me know. So anyway, here, let's get you scooted over here, and we're just going to move it down there so you can, whoopsie. And we'll set the machine here for 1/4 inch. And make sure I've got these things together right. We'll stitch a couple of these just so then I can get them off my table. They can go into a bag. I'll leave opening here. And you can put your needle down if you have that. I tend to use interfacing iron-on scraps for, now those are, know that this one is pieced like I had 2 strips. A lot of times I do that on little stuff like this. Just trying to use up some stuff. When I ended up, you end up with like a mother or, somebody else's things, and then you add to what you already have. And if you have a decent sized stash, well, it just accumulates, and I just need to plow through some of this. So I'm trying to use up some stuff here. Okay, same thing here. I want to, and I forget the designer of this. You guys will know it, probably. She does kind of fun stuff, collage-y kind of fabric and eclectic. I can kind of see her name, but I can't quite pronounce it. So we're going to do, let's see here. So just real simple. And so this would be another idea for, a bunch of stitchy people. If you don't want to do the, those little thread with the snaps in all 4 corners, and I like them. I've made quite a few of them. I do think this, whoopsie, why did it do that? Every once in a while my machine does that. It doesn't stop. I usually just tap it again right away and it straightens up, but well, I'm going to back up because that corner is going to be a little wonky. It'll be all right. We'll trim it and it'll be great. Okay, so I got stitched all around them, left an opening. I'm going to trim the corners. Well, I started to say, if you like this idea, I would say that using flannel on the inside is, that's what you want to do instead of just a cotton, quilter's cotton, just because it holds those threads. That way if it falls, the threads kind of are stuck to it. So anyway, okay, so we're gonna turn these, and we'll poke the corners out. And I don't know that I'll put snaps in all of them, but I can do a couple here, the ones I've got finished, and that way you can see that the snap thing I use. It's called a Kam-snap, and I got it on Amazon. Oh, I don't know, several years ago. They make all these wonderful colors. I've got a piece over here, and it was, well, you know what it was from? It was the cut off triangles from that heart quilt that I just showed you that my mom did. And this is from, you know, the blocks I made, and I cut off the triangles and I ran them through and made half square triangles. I think this is going to be a big enough piece for me to do a baby bib out of. But that's what it's sitting off to the side, and I haven't quite gotten to that yet. So anyway, and I'm going to push, I've got, you know, my point turner here. I'm going to push it on the cotton side and not the flannel side. The flannel side, you know, is just a tad bit looser. You know, weave, and I don't want to poke it through. So I'll do that, and that's ready to. And then another tip you can do is, and sometimes I do this, where's my opening? Right here. You can take your fabric, here, we can do it, we'll try it on this one, and just pull it back to the seam line before you turn it. Let's see, that might be just a bit much. Try and make it across there. And then let's see, we'll do it on this side too. And then you'll be surprised how easy that is. It lines up. So it looks like that before you turn it, okay? And it just gives, when we do that hole, you'll be surprised how easy that is. I don't always do it, but sometimes I do. So anyway, well, and this was just in an attempt to clean up my cutting table that is just, you know, the struggle is real to keep that cleaned up. So again, I'm poking on the cotton side, not on the flannel side. And yeah, see how that, it just shut right up. So if you have trouble with that, you might try that. Oops, this corner is not done properly. There. There. Okay, so let's if I had my big iron out here, I would probably like it better than this little tiny one. It works okay, but you know, with the 2 layers of interfacing there on the fabric, there's a little more heft to it. And so there we go. That looks just right down there. I didn't do too bad. Okay, so I'm not going to bother doing the same thing with that one. But I will top stitch around this. And I'll just use a single stitch, but sometimes I do a triple stitch on here. If you want, I probably wouldn't bother on this kind of a thing, but if you want a really heavy looking, and let's make this much bigger. 2, I don't want it tiny. And I try and go right on the edge there. Because then it closes up my opening. And takes care of that. Oops. Get rid of that and that, just so I don't have all that extra down there. We've got a few things coming up in the yard, so spring is kind of happening. Where we live, we deal with a lot of wind. I think it's supposed to be almost 80 tomorrow, but I think the wind is supposed to be crazy high. So there's what I did, and actually then I'm gonna make this be the outside of it and keep this, the flannel, on the inside, because I want this as a thread catcher. Now, you know, if you wanted to use it for, you could add floss. I mean, you can make needle books any size you want. So you could make a needle book out of this. I think this is, how big is it? Whoopsie. And I just kicked that again. I don't know if this was, I think it was a 5.5 inch square. But like I say, it was the size of, you know, what I had left over. And I forgot to bring my tool over here, so let me go get that. And let me see here, what colors do I want? I don't know. Here what we got. Okay. This is what the plier looks like. Okay. And like I say, it's called a Kam-snap. And I got the whole little tool set. And then I've got this container with colors, and then I have this container with colors. So that take me longer to figure out. Let's see, what color do I want to use? Don't know that I don't want to shut that off. I don't want to. Oh, here's a dark brown. This might be good on this. I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think I'm going to do that. Let's see, unless I like this one better. Oh, I do like this one better. This one's a little bit darker. So there, you kind of see that. So let's see, I'm going to get a little set out, and you just have to get the full set. In plumbing world, it's the male and the female end. I used to work at a hardware store, and a lot of tools. That's how they're described: male end, female end. Okay, that I'm gonna lose that. So what I want to do here is I want to make a hole, but I want that to be like right there. So looks like, and I'm going to fold that in half to kind of give me center point, yeah, right there. So I'm going to take the out all and put it in there and put that in there and that in there. And I just, that little cap fits right down in there, and squeeze it. And it's done, just like that. So now I want to do right there. See, is that good? Yeah, that's good. I don't want the end, I don't want this to hang off the end of my piece, okay? So that's kind of what I was checking. So then this needs to go like that, which means you've got to do it right. And you can take these apart, but it requires, you literally have to bust that snap. It's plastic. You literally have to break it to, if you do it wrong. You know, if you put the wrong end the wrong way. I have done it. Ask me how I know. There it is. Isn't that cute? Whoops. Hopefully I've been in camera this time. Okay, we're going to do this. Let's see here. I don't think I have a good green that's like that. I may just stick with this. This looks good. So I need 2 of those, and I need a set. There. Okay. So, although this is on the outside, so maybe I need black. Yeah, I need black. I was thinking it was going on the inside, and it's not. So let's do black. Okay, here. 1, 2, not that. 2 of those, and I need the opposite of that. There. Okay. So I'm going to fold it kind of in half so I get the center. So that's right on that line. Well, that makes it simple. So I just need to have it so it's in there. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it through both. That way I know they're lined up. I don't have to do it again. Probably should have done it that way on that one. There we go. So I get a, decent hole. There we go. And it doesn't matter, which half you do where. I mean, if you're going to do a bunch on a project, you want them all the same way. But like for something like this, I don't know that there's a rule. Okay. There we go. So there we go. Now I have another, got a little needle book, got a little thing, and I will do the very same thing on this one, and then I'll finish this one and do it the same way. So yeah, and I'll probably do black and do black out here too. So Very cute. Great way to do a closure. So if you don't have one of those, or you might want to check it out and look them up and see what you think. When I got it, but it's been several years ago, I want to say it was around a $30, maybe 25 to 30, but it came with an amount of snaps, you know, a variety to start with. So, and then I just have added, you know, more set colors as I've needed them. So anyway, so I hope you enjoyed our time together and enjoyed my finishes. And like always, if you have any questions, write me. I read all the comments. And if you like this, share it with your friends, and subscribe, and get your notifications too. So I will look forward to seeing you another day. Thank you, and bye for now.